Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. I will start by saying that I am recovering from being sick, so please apologize, my voice is not fully back, but I am overall feeling better, so I thought it would be a nice idea to talk a little bit about the latest update released for Euro Truck Simulator 2, which is this beautiful Renault electric truck. In case you don't know anything about this game, Euro Truck Simulator is exactly what it says. It's a truck driving simulator. There's not much more to it. It just offers peace of mind for troubled people. I know that sounds a bit odd, but what I mean by that is when I'm coming back from a hard day at work and maybe perhaps I have a hard time relaxing and just taking a break, I like to jump into this game and just sit back and enjoy the driving experience, enjoy the trucks, the roads, just clear my head. You know, like if you were to listen to my mind, you will not hear anything back, because this is the level of relaxation I get from this game. But anyway, with that being said, it is a pretty old title. It's been released in 2012, but even with it being so old, the devs never stopped caring about this game, which is why it's so loved by the community. They kept upgrading it, updating it, visual overhauls, new trucks, new trailers, map expansions, you name it. It's just constantly in a nice cycle of updates, and we all enjoy that. So with the addition of this new truck, it kind of paints the picture of what we're supposed to be receiving in the future in terms of updates, because Renault is not the only one. There will be others. And it's just nice to see that even for people like me who don't really drive trucks in the day-to-day life or have driven a truck before, we get to experience what it kind of is to some level, to some extent. So that's very nice to see. So let's have a look at a few screenshots of what this truck looks like, and it's just beautiful. I mean, this is a real-life version of it. And as you can see, it's in like a studio, a showroom, and this is the in-game one. The job is perfected. It's done at such a high level, it's amazing. Like, look at this. Real life game version. Amazing. So it will have a 4x2 chassis, and it will have 3 electric motors. So the center of gravity will be quite low and nice. It will provide with about a little over 600 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. It's, I would say, medium in terms of like capacity. Maybe there will be more engine upgrades or versions. But as of now, it's just this one. And because of the uniqueness of this vehicle being electric, that is, they will have to change the entire gas stations in kind of a major way. Because it's just not easy enough for you to, as a developer, to just add another pump that pumps out electricity for these kind of vehicles. There's plenty of gas stations in the game. Some of them are larger, but there's a lot of roadside ones which offer like 1 pump or 2 pumps. So they need to reconfigure pretty much all of them to incorporate this. Luckily, if they add more electric vehicles, they won't have to do it again. It's just the first time that they do this will be the most difficult one. And regarding this truck, it's quite nice. It has 2 full digital dashboards. So you have the main one and then an infotainment system. So these 2 screens are independent of each other. You can control them separately, which is a very nice feature. We also have a blind spot detector, which is integrated into the A-pillars. So it will be on the sides of the truck here. And of course, we have a right-hand drive option if you wish to drive this truck in places like the UK with different interior layouts, as it should be. We also have regenerative braking, which is an amazing feature. I cannot wait to test it, which basically just allows you to put back some of the juice that you spend while accelerating just back into the battery whenever you are applying the brakes. And because this truck is unique to the game, we cannot buy it yet. If you go to the Renault truck dealership, you will not find it in the list. However, we can get to experience it. They have introduced it. You just have to go into the quick job, select the Renault trucks, and find the ones that have this nice lightning symbol. They're always going to be the blue ones. They don't have any other color schemes as of now, and just enjoy the experience. It is limited to 300 kilometers because, again, That's the kind of the range that the trucks have currently, and because there is no gas station to accommodate electricity, they had to limit it to 300 kilometers jobs. So in case you're turning the wrong way and you find yourself in a position where you spent a lot more energy than you currently have, there is a recharging service that can help you get through it for a fee. The same way as if you're running out of gas in the middle of the road, you can call in the emergency refueling, and then they give you a little bit of more power, or in this case juice, to carry on. But that's pretty much it. There will be no in-game economy reset, which to be honest is not that big of a deal. Even if it was a reset, making money in this game is not the hardest things that you can do. The beginning is kind of troublesome a little bit, but once you get access to the big loan of the 400,000 euros, then you're pretty much good to go, because you can buy some garages, hire a few people, and then they make money and you keep investing it and life is good. So even if that was the case, I would have not been offended at all. But yeah, with that being said, this is pretty much it. A few more screenshots of the interior. You can see here the two dashboards. There's the main one and the infotainment system. Beautiful steering wheel, beautiful logos. Everything is just very nicely done, and I appreciate it a lot. And of course, 2,000 likes. It deserves more than that, but I don't think everyone saw this release yet. So without further ado, I think it's time for us to jump in and check it out. Alright, so here we are in game. We can check this out from the quick job screen. We just filter by Renault trucks and literally just scroll about. So we have one option here, but this is just 65 kilometers. I want something a bit more challenging, closer to the 300 limit that they put for this. This is 166, getting a bit closer. As you can see, it's not exactly hard to find these jobs. That's a 242 one, 248 here. So just in Sicily. Maybe we can take this one. Just as a nice walkabout Italy here. And we also have another one here at 267. Maybe this one is more interesting. So I'm gonna take this one. And now we just let the game carry us. And here we are inside the truck. One thing I noticed with all these quick jobs is that your camera angle is always so close to the steering wheel. And what I like to do is to adjust my seat. So first of all, I go all the way back here and just a few clicks away here so I can see the mirrors. And this is kind of more comfortable for me anyway. I'm using a G29 steering wheel from Logitech for this game. It's a pretty nice one, and I got a gear shifter as well, because otherwise I think you're missing out on the whole experience. And for this truck, because naturally I don't think there's gonna be any shifters, and as you can see inside there is none, I've put it on an automatic mode, so it's more close to the real thing. And yeah, just having a look at the inside, they've done an amazing job with all of the details here. It looks gorgeous. I think we might be able to open that up. I think it's a net for like flies and mosquitoes and all that. But if I go to the other camera view, actually is not. Okay, my bad on that one. Don't know what that is. Maybe they plan to have a version that has a solar roof. I don't know. And anyway, carrying on with the interior, we have normal mirrors, which I think there is an option for camera versions as well, but of course we cannot upgrade this truck yet because we don't own it. Steering wheel looks absolutely gorgeous. Infotainment system here, if I just turn on the ignition, you can see there's two screens. There's one that gives you basic details, and then another one with further details like consumption of your battery, regeneration, average speed, and all that nice jazz. And because this is the infotainment system, we have access to multiple options. So I mapped it on my keyboard here to change between modes, and the only modes that this one has is the basic one that it starts, the default one, map, and off. And we're gonna have a look at what other options there are, but first let's finish with the overall look of this truck. Chairs look amazing. There's a phone in the back there. There's another mattress folded up with a ladder. We have plenty of storage at the top, and like I said, mirrors. And from the exterior, this is what it looks like. Let's turn on the lights. So that's the light modes, and then we also have high beam, normal beam. Turning signals look amazing. Look at that. Reminds me of like all these sedans like the Audis. Just a normal one at the back, but the front looks really nice. There's no horn, which is surprising to me, but I guess because it's not fully released, we should kind of be expecting there would be some features that are lacking. So yeah, no horn whatsoever. And apart from that, like I said, I tested this one a little bit just before I started this video, just to get myself accustomed to it. And there are a few features that are very annoying. One of them, if we go to controls, right here, sorry, in the keys and buttons, and you scroll down a little bit, you will see there's a couple of new things that they added to the game. So we have lane keep assistant and lane assistant mode. Now I've tried to work with them, and unfortunately I don't think they're there yet, like in a state where it's actually okay. So if you go to gameplay and scroll down a little bit, you'll find also a few things that might come in handy if they're just simply not working for you, and that's been the case for me. One of them, which has been highly annoying, was the emergency brake system. This was set for full detection, and ideally with full detection is that it looks around with the cameras and assesses if you're driving into a potential obstacle, whether it's a car, a wall, a pedestrian, whatever, and it just fully engages the brakes so you're covering yourself and whatever you're about to hit. That's the idea behind it. Now, when I did this test, I was trying to exit the place where the game put me as a starting point, and it had this narrow entrance, and because this was on full detection, it thought I was hitting the walls, but I was literally in the middle, in between the walls, right? It was one of these alley exits. If you're familiar with the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, just a narrow exit. I was nowhere near danger, but because of this full detection mode, it just slammed on the brakes and just put me at a full stop, and I was not able to exit the starting point without disabling this. And the second one was lane assist mode. So I kept it as lane departure warning. With lane keeping support, it does what it says. Basically, when you're just drifting away from your lane without the use of the turn signal, it will gently bring you back in, and you can physically feel, if you have like a steering wheel, a outside force just pushing you back into the road. That's really nice. It's not really my thing, so I just kept it as the lane departure warning. These are the two things that you might find useful once you give this new truck a try. So without further ado, we have started the engine, but of course it's an electric vehicle, so there is no sound. Well, there is kind of a sound. I'm just gonna rev it up to the max, and you should hear a tiny whining noise. Not sure if you heard that, but that's pretty much what this truck does. And in the dashboard right there, as I'm pressing the accelerator, you can see the amount of kilowatts per hour increases. Also in the second dash onto my right, you can see the same kind of visual information. Now the infotainment system, we covered it. It's just these three modes. What about the dashboard? Well, the dashboard has some very nice features. So by default, it just gives you the brake pressure, which is onto the right hand side over there. If we press I on the keyboard, or if you mapped it on a button like I have on the steering wheel, next one is the battery percentage. So this will be like your fuel if you were in a traditional gas truck. Another press of the button, it just gives you the consumption on average. Another one is the temperature of, I guess, non-existent oil. Maybe I'm wrong. And then the next one right here is also a map, which is a feature I wished more trucks had in ETS2. I know it doesn't come out as, you know, from the standard design, but this one has it and it looks amazing. And of course you can zoom out if you want, you can zoom further in. Behaves exactly. If I put this infotainment screen on the map mode, you can see they both go in the same fashion. Of course you have a lot better view in the infotainment one, but if you want for whatever reason to have this one off, or you want to have it in like the information mode, then you can rely on your main screen, well, your dashboard screen, to guide you. And the final one is the notifications. There are no active notifications, and if we press it one more time, we're back to the normal mode. So now that we have started this vehicle, we just put it in gear and we press the accelerator and we should be good to go. So let me just put the infotainment screen here to the map mode, because I do like a bigger map. So look left and right, seems like a good way to just go out now. And very nicely we have a giveaway sign. You hear that noise? That is the detection system, because we're about to, this guy goes in here and we can get out easily. That's the detection system telling us that we're about to do a lane change, but because I hit my turn signal and I wasn't actually in a lane, it was like the stop sign next to me, it just told me that I'm about to crash if I'm doing that. And you'll see here in the dashboard right next to my speed at the top, that sound can become very, very annoying very quickly. Carry on with the maneuver here to the best of my ability. This review is just getting significantly harder to drive and talk at the same time. Let's see. We should carry on. Yeah, so what I was saying is that right next to the speedometer there, the right and left, you will see that it kind of flickers. So if you have like an obstacle or whatever it is to your right, you'll see the right side. If you have it on your left, you'll see the left side popping out in this yellow amberish color. And as I go through the tunnel here, it should appear on my right side, detected from that pillar over there. So let's see if it works that way. Yeah, can you see it? So it's showing as a pedestrian icon. It's not really a pedestrian, but I guess that's like the universal icon to signal there's something there, so it might just be a pedestrian. Didn't check what we're transporting and how many tons, so it seems that we're doing motor oil, 14 tons, so it's a decent amount of weight. So back to what I was saying visually, as you look towards the bottom end of my dashboard, when I pressed my accelerator, you see that line that moves there. And also, my camera detected the car approaching. It didn't do any noises this time around, but it does show it on screen. So I guess if I were to use my indicator, let's try that out. Yeah, see? So if you're trying to do this maneuver, the system understands that you want to change lanes, but you have an obstacle coming your way, and as soon as you put your indicator, then it gives you the alarm, like, hey, wake up, you're not supposed to be doing that. Anyway, coming back to this, I'm not accelerating that much, and we're on an incline, and we kind of keep the speed here, so that's really good to see. We got what? It says 1.4k left, but we have a ferry ride, so we're good. Anyway, back to the accelerator. So towards the bottom of the screen, you can see that as I'm going quarter way through my accelerator, you can see that bar slightly moving. If I'm pressing it harder, you can see there's a bluish color coming up. And if I'm flooring it fully, you can see that little bit of red at the top, which is like the maximum. So I'm no longer driving it efficiently. I'm pushing the battery, which is of course not giving me the best range. Speaking of range, you can see it on the other half of the screen. We have 81% and 439 kilometers of range. And as you can see, this tiny little bar sits in the middle. If I press my brakes, that's the regenerative braking coming into play. So that's really nice that you have visually something to look at and understand what's going on. So let me just change this infotainment system and you can have a look at the other screen because you have some relevant information there if you want to. I mean, if you're that kind of a driver that likes to look at all these things, I'm sure initially you'll find it very nice and appealing, but it gets once you get familiarized with the information that you have on the screen, you don't need to have it all the time there. Overall, you have pretty much the same things that you have on the main dashboard, but you also have a few more details. So you can see you have the average speed there, 71 kilometers an hour. This is on average how fast we have been driving this truck for the last minute and 34 seconds or hour. I don't know how this game converts it, but I think it's minutes. And then we regenerated 25 kilowatts of energy. So if I were to press my brake right now, that should increase. Let's see. Yeah, 24. So I keep on braking right now. Okay, I'm not sure if you need like to brake longer distances, or let's just go on a full stop. Don't do this in real life, by the way. We're on a highway. If you're stopping like that, like in the middle of the road, you're gonna cause some accidents, so don't do it. Okay, so back to 25. But anyway, if I were to fully stop right now, it's not working exactly like that. As you can see, I just came to a halt. I applied my brakes firmly, and that bar never moved towards the green side. But if I were to slowly press my brake, you can see now it kicks in, 28 kilowatts regenerated. And then we also have the trip distance. We've done 140 kilometers and it keeps on increasing so far. And of course, we also have the power usage at the bottom of the screen there. We are now using 202, 192, 205. So it depends on how much pressure I apply on my accelerator. If I'm just flooring it, I'm doing 451. And of course that will deplete the battery quickly, and you shouldn't be driving like that unless you absolutely have to. Maybe it's a hill, maybe it's something like that, but in our case here we just take things slowly, especially because me talking and driving at the same time, it's a bit challenging. That's kind of how it goes. So let me just move this back to the original, not original, but in my sort of view, because this view is a lot better from a map perspective. What else do we have here? Yeah, there's other few things that are really nice. You can see the distance on the trip on the screen on the dashboard is right next to the range that we have. So we have 324 kilometers of range, and underneath that we've done 168. So it's the same as on this dashboard, 169. They both update in this at the same time, naturally. But you don't have to like only look at that screen. You have the information on this one as well if you're interested in that. We also have the trip timer, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Again, the same as on this screen. The current time, 12:29. Of course, the in-game time. Motor hours. And we're back into the kind of normal vision. So let me just apply the brakes now a bit harder because this guy decided to go 30 kilometers an hour through this tunnel for whatever reason. Lights are on. So this is what it looks like with the lights off, completely off. Then we have the interior lights, and then of course we have the road lights. And next to the speedometer to the right, we also have very kindly speed limit, which is 40. Now I want to turn right, and this noise is just there. The system works, but at times it's more counterproductive than productive, for lack of a better word. I find it very annoying, especially because you need to signal your intention way before it happens, so the drivers behind you can adjust their speeds and positioning according to what you're about to do. So let's say there's a road to my right in like 100, well not 100, but 50 meters. If I'm turning my signal, I hear this noise, because it kind of does what it's supposed to be doing, which is alert me that, hey, there's something blocking you. Don't turn your car, your vehicle right now because you're about to crash. Don't do that. But at the same time, it's just a bit silly. Also, there is if you're turning on lane assist for whatever reason, you want to try it, you want to test it, you want to use it on a daily, it's up to you. You only have this one visual, sorry, not visual, but auditory aid. So now it's on, now it's off. But yeah, I mean, if I were to say to SES, if I were to give them a bit of feedback, it would be to make an icon on the screen that indicates the modes your lane assistant is in, because you can swap between modes and you will have absolutely no clue which mode you're into. And also, when you're using lane assist, if it's on or off, how are you supposed to tell? Like, maybe you forget you have it on, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna tell you unless you have something additionally on screen for you to see. And then we have the biggest issue here is with the braking, I think, in this truck. As you can see now, I'm applying my brake right now. I would say it's about 50%. And it's not braking as fast as a normal gas truck would. And I find that very concerning, again with the noise. Yes, I know I'm about to crash. So it's not applying the brake as firmly as I would hope it would do. And maybe this is because of the regenerative braking, because it takes that power and converts it into energy, so maybe it needs like a longer distance for it to do the same thing. But it's very misleading, especially if you drove like normal gas trucks all along and you just started to drive this one. So look at this. Now I'm applying about 80% of the brake, and this is how slowly it stops. Of course, if I were to just hammer it, it stops immediately, but you're not supposed to hammer your brakes every time. You're supposed to like slowly do it. So you just need to consider this when you're taking this one for a drive for the first time, because it is very, very misleading. I think we're supposed to be here in Cagliari, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Maybe, maybe not. Am I in the right place? I'm not. I was supposed to go to Valencia. My bad. So let's go back in here. Oh, is there another bit of road that I can go to? Okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. We'll see. If we run out of power, then we know we messed up. But this is what happens when you're trying to speak and drive and pay attention to what the road signs are saying to you. It's just a lot harder. With the rain, of course, this doesn't help at all, because rain in this game is like hell. It increases your brake distance by quite a lot, even if you have good brakes. Another thing, I stopped. I'm in A1, as you can see. I have to put it in neutral and push it back to start. I don't know what is with this gearbox or with this truck specifically, but it just doesn't like. So look at this. I'm just coming down to full stop. I'm pressing my accelerator again. Okay, this time it worked. And now I'm applying again 80% of the brake, but I have to force it to come into a stop, because otherwise it just doesn't want to go. And let's see if it's gonna have the same issue. So now it's green light. Look, I'm fully pressing the accelerator, nothing happens. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it's part of the bugs. Maybe they can add the horn and fix this at the same time. Who knows? But yeah, so now we're about 50% of battery. I'm not doing a lot of accelerating here, and I kind of like that about this truck. It holds the speed nicely without making a lot of effort. You could potentially have a very high range from this battery, just because it just holds its speed quite well. I guess that's pretty much it. Let's check the high beams. Okay, decent high beam. I cannot wait for this to be fully released so we can check out all of the see, I'm planning to turn right, but of course I'm not gonna turn right into the wall. I'm gonna turn right into this street, and yet I'm still receiving this this alert. Can get annoying very fast. Maybe it's a me issue. Maybe you guys don't care about the noises that much, but it does annoy me quite a bit. The pillar lights up. Maybe on this side. Yeah, you can see that light, that tiny light there. The same as in my dashboard. If the dashboard is off, then there's no light, but now that it's on, it's back on there. See, now it's on my left hand side because this car is passing by. So that's quite nice that you have it like in your eyesight, line of sight kind of thing. You don't really have to look down every single time. So one last thing that I guess I have to say is the gearbox of this vehicle. It can do with some tuning. I find it that even if it's set in high power mode, so there is a setting in the options, if you're running your trucks on automatics, you can select how the gearbox behaves. And naturally, I put mine into high power mode, so it knows that when I'm flooring it, I need it to be, if it's like in, let's say, gear 12, and I'm at a relatively low speed and I'm pressing my accelerator, it needs to drop down to 11 or 10 or 9th and give me that extra power that I need. So even though it's set up like that for this particular truck, it doesn't behave that way. So now I'm flooring it. A9, still A9. Look how slowly it goes. Instead of just doing something, it does nothing. 11th gear, 48 kilometers an hour. Now I'm flooring it. You saw that it wanted to drop it down to A8, but it didn't. Like again, A8, but then it goes back to, now it's A9. So now it's actually doing something, but it didn't want to do it before. So I don't really understand why that is the case. Probably one of the things that need to be addressed by the devs. So let's call the services. View services and adjustments. Emergency recharge. That's number 2. We'll charge your battery with 100 kilowatts. It will cost you $350 and will take 2 hours. The charge will be called by your employee. Yeah, sure. What's 100 kilowatts? Is that like 5% battery? No, 20% battery. Okay. Well, better than nothing. We're losing a lot of money and time, and we're gonna run this delivery late because of the mistake that we made previously. But in any case, I think this is pretty much it for today's video and review. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and go ahead and try it yourself. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.